The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. If you observe your autistic child doing all these behaviors, which is walking and doing some form of talking in the form of either singing rhymes, humming, producing some general sounds from their mouth like repeating the dialogues from a cartoon, repeating some phrase that they have heard, or even repeating entire sets of conversations, or even repeating a single word. It is their way that serves three main purposes, which is emotional regulation, self-regulation, and sensory regulation. If you remember the time when we had exams, what we used to do is walking and trying to remember things which boosted up things for us. Our speech output was better. We were able to memorize things better. Why? Because it is sensory integration. That is exactly what autistic children and adults try to do. Moving around and then trying to talk helps them to express themselves better because the movement provides them with optimal arousal. It helps them to regulate their senses better. For example, sitting on a couch, too much pressure, we don't want to sit, or on a chair. Similarly, we are able to cut down the sounds in the environment if we are moving and humming to ourselves. So always the speech output increases. Even some kids like to hold things in their hand. So every child has their own form of movement that they prefer. If you identify that in a sensory profile of a child, you will be able to improve the speech output of the child as well, because movement is what initiates talking. The second aspect of movement, walking and talking, is that when we are speaking, we tend to use gestures. We try to hold objects to demonstrate something. Or if we are trying to think about a critical point, we try to move around so that we remember it better. So presentations are usually given in standing or moving positions because they help to regulate the senses of an individual. So it is a mutual thing where speech output increases the movement and movement increases the speech output. The third aspect here is absolutely significant, which is identify what form of movement really your child needs. Because every child does not want to walk or run or jump. Movement could be in any form. Visual. For example, the child really likes to move things in front of their eyes. So if you let them fidget with those toys like pop-it or spinning toys, you might find that their speech output increases with that. So during their speech sessions, you let them play with those toys. Similarly, some kids are okay in sitting, but they're also looking for pressure. So giving them a comfortable chair in which they can sit, or even bouncing on a ball gives them this bouncy feeling, this movement-based feeling, as well as giving them enough pressure that they want to concentrate on the speech-based activity. So incorporate speech during these activities. Thirdly, regarding the sounds in the environment, if you simply do not have any distractible sounds coming from the environment so that one person is only talking to the child, that also creates a form of movement because you create the movement by, for example, let's do an animal walk and then produce the sound of an animal. So the movement and talking are combined. How to incorporate touch in this? For example, if you want your child to really understand what you are saying, keeping a gentle hand on their shoulder, keeping a gentle hand on their arm to tell them what is supposed to be done gets their attention to you. They acknowledge that yes, you have touched them, which they were not responding to verbally. So that is also a form of movement. Or they like to hold some toy in their hand and they keep changing hands for that. So the toy keeps shifting from one hand to the other. That is also a form of movement that can be used, and it can increase the speech output of the child even if the child is not looking at you. This walking and talking has an important aspect in emotional regulation as well. For example, you introduced an activity to the child that became too demanding. You see that the child just escapes whenever you present them with an activity. They went away so that they could regulate their emotions and understand the demands of the task. It is a cue for you to reduce the demands by reducing the number of steps that you are offering, simplifying the form of an activity to, okay, you were supposed to copy it, fine, we will do it as an imitation step by step, which will become easier for them. And after maybe 5 steps, if the child really needs that break, you can allow them to leave, come back. Okay, after 5 steps you can go for a minute and then you return. After that the child will be able to continue the activity. So emotional regulation is also benefited by this walking and talking, or you introduce one song in between while the child is sitting, so that it changes the mood of the child to a happier mood and they are more interested in continuing. And the final aspect is self-regulation, which is usually because of sensory overload from the environment. Too much bright lights, too many people moving around, too much clutter in the room, too many sounds in the environment, people talking continuously to them which they are not comfortable with. They are not comfortable with the chair on which they are sitting. They need a more comfortable surface over there, or they need more pressure and want to relax for a few seconds by either shutting their eyes or looking somewhere else except you, because that will help them to focus better. So if you think your child is not giving a continuous eye contact, it's okay. Allow them that movement of the eyes. Again, movement. So walking is not necessarily just walking, but also any kind of movement that your child might enjoy. We can commonly call that as a movement break, incorporated with talking in the way they like. I hope this video was informative for you. So like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos related to child development. Ring the bell icon for notifications. Add any queries or suggestions in the comments below, and we'll meet again soon. Bye.